Right guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm doing my Game Week 1 Premier League predictions. Now for this, it's going to be a, I'm going to go through each team, each game that's happening in the game week, and talk about the scores which I think each team is going to have, and what the outcomes of each game are going to be, and give my thoughts on the matchups of each teams, and stuff like that. Now I am doing this about 3 weeks before the season starts. Mainly because the season starts before I get back from holiday. So I'm just trying to get up on some videos and try and make sure I've got all the appropriate videos done so I can carry on when I get back as well. So I'm just going to go through each of the 10 games which are happening in Game Week 1, starting off at Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Now, I really like Arsenal and I really like Crystal Palace as well. In this one, I've gone for Arsenal win 2-1, mainly because Arsenal are a great team and they just have more talent, in my opinion. Crystal Palace have a lot of great players and they have a really good young team, and I really do like the team that they are building with all the players that they have. However, I just think Arsenal has a bit too much for them. However, Arsenal haven't started the seasons previously as well as they probably should have. For example, you can talk about last season where they lost like 3 games in a row, I think it was, or something. To not the best quality of teams as well, but like Arsenal are going to come out strong this season, and I have picked Arsenal for a top 4 spot, so I need Arsenal to win. I really like how Arsenal play and the team spirit which they have, and I think it will help them beat a lot of teams that people don't expect them to beat. So that's why I picked Arsenal for 2-1 in this Palace game. Moving on to Fulham versus Liverpool. This one's going to be a blitz by Liverpool. Liverpool are going to win 3-0 against Fulham. Fulham are just not a great team, and I know they've signed some really good players. I just don't think it's going to be enough. You've got Salah, you've got Diaz, you've got Nunez, you've got all these players. Jota is injured, I think, but that doesn't really matter when you've got the quality of Liverpool going forward, and I just think it's going to be an easy 3-0 victory. Liverpool always come out strong when they play anyone. Like, they're always, especially at the start of the seasons, they come out really strong, and I just believe Liverpool is going to be a dominant team once again within the Premier League, especially when they've got most of their players fit. They have lost Sadio Mane, but in this situation against one of the worst teams in the league, in my opinion, it's not really going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things. Moving on to Bournemouth versus Villa. Now, this is one of those games where I have just done a 1-1, because I just don't think Aston Villa, with some of the new signings they've made, I don't know if they're all going to mesh, especially in the first game. They could come out and be one of the best teams in the league and show everyone that they're going to be a top 10 finish. But I just think that with all the new players they've signed, I think it could be a 1-1. Aston Villa could easily win this game, but this is one of the games where I just think it could just be a 1-1 draw, and it's one of the only games where I think, like, Villa should win that game, right? In theory, Villa should beat Bournemouth, who are, in my opinion, the worst team in the Prem. But I just think Bournemouth might start off the season on adrenaline and get a draw. They might even score first. Bournemouth might get the first goal, and then Villa might score like halfway through the game, and then it just kind of deads the game like that. That's just an opinion from me, and it's just kind of, it's a prediction, and I'm not going to be 100% right on any of these, let's be honest here. I'm not the best at predictions, and it's going to be a thing where I'm not going to get nearly any of them right. So this is just a bit of fun and predicting what I think is going to happen in the Prem. I haven't put that much thought into it. I've looked at the teams and thought who's better, like the situations, who's playing home and away and stuff like that, but I'm not really thinking that deep into it. It is just a prediction at the end of the day, and it really doesn't matter to the full extent. Moving on to Leeds versus Wolves, I've put Wolves win 1-0. I think Leeds are really going to struggle scoring, and Wolves as well. That's why I've put it as a 1-0 to Wolves. I just think Wolves will have a bit too much for Leeds. I just don't see where Leeds are going to score next season. I think it might be quite hard for them to produce the results that they want when playing against teams that aren't even the best in the league, but kind of middling teams. I just think that Wolves have too much quality for Leeds, especially after losing Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. I think it could be a very big struggle for Leeds, both attacking and defensively. They've lost one of their best attacking threats and one of their best defenders in Calvin Phillips as well. It's hard to say if they're going to be any good, and they could easily get relegated. So that's why I put Wolves to win. Moving on to Newcastle versus Forest. I really like Newcastle, but I also really like Forest as well. I have put Newcastle to win 2-1. Mainly because I just think Newcastle coming off the high of signing all these players, and I know I said with Aston Villa a lot of these players might not work instantly, but Newcastle towards the end of last season were one of the best teams in the Premier League, so I'm just saying that Newcastle could easily come out and win 2-1 Like, Nottingham Forest could easily score the goal first, but then I just think Newcastle has a lot of quality, especially with all their players fit and ready to go. It could just mean that Newcastle has a bit too much Premier League quality for the newly promoted team in Nottingham Forest. Then we move on to Spurs versus Southampton. Now, I just think Spurs are easily going to win this. Southampton don't have the best defensive record ever. Like, for example, I wouldn't get a Southampton defender on FPL. Let's just say that. They're not the best team for keeping clean sheets. And I just think with Tottenham's quality, I just do wonder how well Southampton are going to play against, like, a fit and firing and pumped up Harry Kane, a Son, a Richarlison, even though he can't play. What am I talking about? Let's go Perisic, a Kulusevski, who that front three is going to be dangerous, even without Richarlison, who is banned for that game for previous things which happened in the Premier League last season. The Kulusevski, Son and Harry Kane link-up is going to be crazy, and I'm very excited to see how that all plays out within the Premier League next season. I just think they're going to win 2-0. I think it's going to be quite an easy showing for them. A great start to the season for them, and I just think they are going to be one of the best teams in the league. For Everton versus Chelsea, I don't believe Everton have any real quality. I just think Chelsea are going to win, and I think Sterling might even score in his Premier League debut for Chelsea. He's going to do really well, and I just think Everton's defence is poor. Even with signing James Tarkowski, it doesn't fill me with confidence that Everton are going to stay in the league. So I have just put them just losing 1-0 because I don't think Chelsea have the attacking quality yet with the players that they've signed. The only real attacking threat which they have is Sterling. They've got Havertz, they've got Pulisic, they've got Mount, but none of these players are guaranteed 20 goal a seasoners other than probably Sterling. Moving on to my team, we've got Leicester versus Brentford. I've put Leicester winning 2-0. I think Vardy always comes out strong, especially on the first game of the season. I reckon Vardy's going to bag 2 in this game, and I just think people are underrating Leicester quite a lot. I actually saw someone put a Premier League prediction out and put Leicester to get relegated. Now that is stupidity at its finest, isn't it? But I just don't think that Leicester are going to lose against Brentford. Brentford are a good team, but they've lost Eriksen, which means their creation is lacking severely. And Leicester coming off a bad season, but we ended the season very strongly last season, which people forget. We're going to come back with a bang. We might not come top 6, but I reckon we'll get 7th next season, and we're going to win this starting game pretty convincingly. Manchester United versus Brighton. I just reckon this is going to be a 2-2. Now, this is the most outrageous one. This and Aston Villa's game is the most outrageous shout which I think I've done in the whole thing. I just think Man United are going to come out strong, probably score a goal, and I think it's going to go goal for goal. So I think Man United will score, Brighton will score, and then Man United will score again, and then Brighton might get a last-minute winner. Not winner. A goal to draw the game. But I just think Brighton aren't a bad team, and people underrate Brighton quite a lot, and they can perform in these big games. I'm just dubious whether they'll be able to beat Manchester United. I just think they have a lot of new signings coming in, and I'm not sure how their new players going to fit within the Premier League coming from the Eredivisie and other leagues around Europe and stuff, and whether they're going to be able to defend at the rate which is needed to win against Brighton. And I know that's a stupid statement, but it is the statement I have made, so I do apologise. West Ham versus Man City, always a fun game to watch. I love watching West Ham versus Man City. Man City are going to come out strong, winning 3-1. They're going to go 3 up probably at half time, and I think that West Ham will score a consolation goal near to the end of the game. Now, that is just a guess. As I said, all of these are just predictions, and it really does not matter what I say, because what I say is not truth. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. I've put a few rogue shouts in there just to be a bit fun. I'm not going boring, oh, it's going to be 1-0 to all of these people, but I just think this is a bit of a fun video idea, and it's a video idea which is quite easy to make, being as I'm quite ill still. But if you have liked this video, guys, I would really appreciate a like. I would really appreciate a like on the video, and if you could subscribe to the channel, that would also mean a lot to me. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I really do appreciate you. Thank you.